for joining us. I'm Diane Rehm. Racial tensions continue to flare this week as thousands mourn at funerals for Dallas police officers, as well as for Philando Castile and Dalton Sterling. New polls show nearly 70% of Americans feel race relations in this country are poor, the same level as in the early 90s. And Trump prepares to select his running mate. Joining me in the studio for the Domestic Hour of the Friday News Roundup, Cheryl Gay Stolberg of the New York Times, Abby Phillip of the Washington Post, and Josh Kraushar of the National Journal. You can watch this hour, the Friday News Roundup. We are video streaming. You can go to drshow.org to see this hour. You can call us at 800-433-8850 if you'd like to join the program. Send us an email to drshow@wamu.org. Send us a tweet or join us on Facebook. Welcome to all of you.
Thank you.
Good to be here.
Happy Philip. Donald Trump postponed the announcement of his vice presidential choice because of what's happening in Nice. The question comes down to Pence has until noon today to make a decision about running again for governor.
That's right. He has his own deadlines, and that's going to put a lot of pressure on him to make a decision about whether he wants to take a chance. Now, Republicans are indicating that Trump has indicated, and his aides have indicated to them, that Pence is likely to be the choice, but he has also not made a complete decision yet. So that means that there's a lot of uncertainty between today and tomorrow. Pence has until noon to decide what to do. If he chooses to run for re-election, he cannot serve in both roles at the same time. So he cannot be vice president and also be running for his re-election race. And if he chooses not to, then he puts down ballot Republicans in a kind of a tough position. They have to decide who's going to actually do that instead of him. So he has some tough choices to make.
Cheryl.
I think when we take the big picture, this has been a fascinating selection process for Donald Trump. Very unusual. First of all, he doesn't have a wide array of choices for his VP. Many Republicans, mainstream Republicans, are running away from Donald Trump. We're seeing that a lot of elected officials, senators, are not going to be attending the convention. Likely contenders for the vice presidential slot, his competitors in the very crowded Republican field, weren't interested. John Kasich, for instance, of Ohio, a swing state governor, would have been a great vice presidential candidate. Wouldn't even hear of it. So Trump's choices were few, and they seemed to narrow down on about four. There was Mike Pence, the governor of Indiana, former congressman; Newt Gingrich, the former House Speaker; Governor Chris Christie of New Jersey; Senator Jeff Sessions of Alabama. And I think Trump has to pick someone who complements him, and Mike Pence complements him in some important ways. He's a true blue movement conservative, which Trump is not. He is fiercely opposed to abortion. Same-sex marriage has been an issue for him. He's opposed. Newt Gingrich has been more moderate on those issues. And also, if you think about Gingrich, who also seemed really in the running, Gingrich is a big personality like Trump. Gingrich in the 1990s was someone who was viewed as upending civility in Washington. His language was viewed as very harsh. He's almost a forerunner to Trump. So for a lot of reasons, the Pence pick makes sense. But I think, as is always the case with Donald Trump, it's last minute and we don't know what he'll do.
And Josh, how would Pence actually appeal to voters?
Well, he